I'm Carolyn Frost. Well, the person writing this is Carolyn Frost. The person that you're hearing right now is Benar, an old actor friend of mine who heard I was doing this and took me out to a very nice lunch before asking if they could read the next account I wrote. B, next lunch is on me, buddy. Anyway, I'm Carolyn Frost, and I'm a detective. The best detective in the world. Well, at the very least, the best detective in the American Southeast. The best detective in Tampa, definitely. Definitely? Yeah, definitely. I made this recording so that you, my dear darling detectives, can sharpen your powers of deduction and become more formidable when helping me on future cases. The story you're about to listen to is an old case account of mine. You're going to solve it. Everything you need to solve the mystery is in the following account written by yours truly. You have 2 weeks from the day this episode is published to tell me who did it, how they did it, and why they did it. You can submit your answer at carolynfrost.com/solvedit. But be careful. You only get to submit your solution once, so make sure you've really figured it out. If you forget the instructions, just roll the recording back. That's the beauty of these things. I also heard at the end of the challenge, the 10 detectives with the highest number of solved cases will get 2 free tickets to Carolyn Frost and the Emerald Moon, a mystery scavenger hunt I put together. It happens in Tampa, Florida, from March 13th till March 29th. If you don't live in the Tampa Bay area, you'll receive an at-home version to play. So make sure to come back every 2 weeks to solve the new cases and up your chance of getting those tickets. All right, no more time to waste. Let's get to the case that I call Murder is No Dancing Matter. When I got the call, I was wandering deep in the land of Nod. I had just dropped a murder case that kept me up for a week straight. By day 3 of no sleep, I could feel my heartbeat in my fingertips. By day 5, I was seeing colors and hearing voices not yet known to man. I'd been sleeping for almost 14 uninterrupted hours when a grating ring dragged me out of somnolent bliss. This call is from a person currently detained in Tampa, Florida. All calls are logged and recorded and may be listened to by a member of jail staff. If you do not wish to accept this call, please hang up now. Well, that forced me to shake off any latent weariness I had in me. I blinked myself awake and tried to think of anyone I knew who would be in jail and need to call me. I will say that list was longer than I would have liked. Hello? Carolyn? It was Candy. Honestly, I was a little surprised. She was one of the most straight-laced people I knew. We had been on the same speed puzzling team for 2 years. She can do masterful things with monochrome jigsaw puzzles. And don't even get me started on how good she is at putting together edges. Besides the fact that she's a stripper, she's a total square. She even does her taxes every year, which I also do, if anyone from the IRS is reading. Candy, why are you in jail? Did the club get raided or... They think I killed someone. Whoa, you what? I found him. I was dancing. It was a private room. I just left for a little bit, and when I came back, he was... Carolyn, I'm scared. You're the only person I thought could help. You have to help me. Yeah, of course I'll help you. Just quick question. Did you kill him? Carolyn! Hey, I'll still help you if you did. You just gotta tell me. But don't be stupid. Say it in code or something. Carolyn! I did not kill Henry. Oh, great. That'll make everything a lot easier. So, what happened? It was like all the other nights, you know? I came into work, I was on the floor for a couple of hours, and then Henry walks in. Henry's one of our regulars. He's not a bad guy, really. At least he's not pushy like some of the others can be. He's just really sad. He always pays a lot for a private room, and he just talks and lies in your lap and asks you to pat his head. Right now, a lot of what he wants to talk about is his divorce and how sad he is that he'll never start a family with his wife. It's really depressing stuff, and no one really likes it, so we shuffle it around every week. Tonight I was on Henry duty, so he paid me for the private room, and I took him back there, and I barely sat on the couch before he started crying on me. Now, sometimes he cries when he starts talking about how much he misses Maureen, like a couple of little tears, but this was sobbing. Like he'd been shot or something. Jesus. Okay, but Candy, how'd he end up dead? I don't know. He was still crying, and it just got to be too much. I don't come into work for that kind of thing, you know? So I stepped out. I wanted to get him some tissues and give him some time to get it together. I was gone maybe 7 minutes, maybe 10. Then I come back, and he's lying limp on the floor, and there's a pillow right next to him. I guess I was making noises, like scared, panicky noises the whole time because the bouncer came in, and now I'm in jail because they think I killed him. I let out a deep breath. There were 1,000 things racing through my mind, none of them particularly constructive. This is really bad, Candy. I know! She shrieked. God, what am I gonna tell my mother? Hey. You didn't say anything to the cops, right? Besides the interrogation, I've been... The interrogation? Did you have a lawyer? No, it was... Jesus. I rolled out of bed and slipped into the clothes I'd tossed on the floor the night before. Don't say anything to anybody else. If anybody asks you for anything, say no. If they ask any questions, don't say anything. Just say you plead the fifth, all right? I plead the fifth. Just like that, all right? Okay. Perfect. I'm headed down right now. Don't worry. I got you. Things I would not recommend. Being at a police station at 3:30 in the morning. It smells funny, everyone looks terrible, there's not a donut in sight, and it encourages self-reflection. An awful start to the day. Things I would recommend. Having a close personal friend as a police detective. This is especially good if you're a private detective like me. You'll always be brought in to consult on cases. People feel more reluctant to arrest you even when you're doing things you should probably be arrested for. And, best of all, no one looks at you twice when you sneak into the precinct to snoop. The key to sneaking is to look like you're not sneaking at all. Be as loose and casual as possible while you look for the holding cell where they're keeping your friend. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I was not in the precinct often enough to know exactly where Candy was being held. I managed to open 3 of the wrong doors before Malachi found me. Malachi Swanson is many things. A lover of small dogs, my best friend, a pretty good detective when he doesn't get in his way, a bad guitar player, a lover of the law, but, above all things, he is a complete and total pain when he wants to be. What are you doing here? His eyes narrowed behind his thick Coke bottle glasses. Just coming to say hello. I smiled. Hello. Goodbye. I tried to dart past him, but he is built like a filing cabinet. His bright expression dimmed to a suspicious scowl. He pushed his glasses up his nose and slipped his hands in his pockets. My office. He marched down the hallway, and it was clear I had no choice but to follow. We walked in silence for a few moments, but I couldn't help myself. Candy Reynolds, you know where she is? The murderer. Oh, so if you find a body, you have to be the killer? Why would she want to kill him anyway? He steered me into his office, shut the door, and closed the blinds. I sunk into one of the deeply uncomfortable and very unstylish office chairs that were meant for overbearing bosses and wives who were about to hear life-shatteringly bad news. I kicked my feet up on his desk, and he unceremoniously knocked them to the floor. Running theory is that they were getting hot and heavy back there. He asks her to do a little erotic asphyxiation. She puts a pillow over him. He starts to struggle. She doesn't notice. He's too drunk to call for help. She doesn't realize she's killed him till it's too late. He gives a half-hearted shrug and starts sorting papers on his desk. I think if I had been better rested, I could have given a more appropriate and polite response. But at the time, I was so tired that the best he got out of me was a bark of a laugh and some well-timed 4-letter words. That's it? Death by snoo-snoo in the boom-boom room? Have we all lost our minds? That'll never hold up in court. And even if that was what happened, and it's definitely not, then that would be manslaughter. Not even close to murder. The detective on the case, Roberts, wants to run for sheriff soon. Getting trumped-up charges against sex workers will make him #1 with his voting base. But you know she didn't do this, Malachi. And how do I know that? Because she's good at her job. It would be way too easy to accidentally suffocate someone with a pillow that way, and murder isn't professional. Tell me you don't actually believe any of this. He looked down at his desk. I don't know how long he was going to pretend to straighten those papers. You know, as much as I love him, sometimes it's hard to tell what he's going to do. Most of the time, he gives in to my suggestions and plans. I'd like to think my powers of persuasion are what convinces him in the end. But I know that I'm not that good. He wants to be a hero, I think. And I'd like him to be a hero too. But being heroic can be difficult if the laws you're meant to enforce steer you down a different path. The longer he stayed silent, the more I started weighing my options. If he wasn't going to help Candy, then I would have to start pulling some very serious, very big strings to keep her out of prison. I don't know if I'm a hero, but I do know that I help people. If I had to make the devil's bargain I had in mind in order to keep Candy free, I wouldn't be able to help anybody else for a very long time. Hell, I wouldn't even be able to help myself. Was it worth it? She was my friend. Could I really leave her to rot in a cell for a crime she didn't commit just to save my own neck? Was I that kind of person? I prayed Malachi would listen to the angel on his shoulder. I didn't have time to find out a hard truth about myself. No, it doesn't make any sense. I let out a breath and my racing mind slowed to a happy crawl. I smiled and slapped his shoulder. He fought back a smile of his own as he pretended that little slap actually hurt. Attaboy. So, you geniuses got any other suspects, or were you just going to jump right to hanging her in the town square? Yeah, we got a couple other suspects. Robert wants to make it look thorough. Great. Can I talk to them? No. Malachi. I'm sorry, Frost. It's above me. I would have been more upset with him if he didn't look genuinely miserable. He hunched over as he tapped his fingers against the desk. I wanted to break something. What's the point of solving mysteries if no one wants you to solve them? His eyes flicked to mine, and a moment of understanding passed between us. He straightened up and cleared his throat. Well, I forgot I had something else to do right now. Something important. I guess I can just leave you in here, and you can wait for me to come back in, say, an hour? Just make sure to stay off my computer. All of the department's active case files are on there. It's not fit for civilians, such as yourself. No, of course not. God forbid. I couldn't keep the smile out of my voice. I trust you, Frost. You have good head on your shoulders. Be good. Aren't I always? Malachi patted me on the shoulder as he left the room. God, it's good to have a police detective as a friend. I wasted no time. I ran behind his desk and unlocked his laptop. It didn't take long for me to find the files on Candy's case. The interrogation transcripts, witness statements, suspect descriptions. Everything I would need to solve the case. At the very least, everything I would need to show that Candy wasn't a legitimate suspect and should be released. I opened the first file and started poring over it for any kind of clue. So, did you solve it? If you did, go to carolynfrost.com/solved it and submit your solution. Remember, the solution has to be submitted no later than 2 weeks after this episode was published. Who, how, why. That's what you have to know. And if you need a little help, send this recording to a friend. I find that bringing in a friend is the best way to solve tricky mysteries. I can't wait to see what you all come up with. Now, I have to thank some people. Jade Madison Scott, thank you for helping me write this account down. Virginia Wilson, thank you for editing this account into something readable. And Binar, thank you for reading this account so people can hear it. And a big thanks to WGC Productions for coming up with this whole setup. And there's a lot more to come, so stay tuned.